Hi everyone, my name's Deb and I'm a member of the Plannercraft design team, and I'm going to take you through creating a Christmas card using the ScanNCut. We're going to do something similar to this. I say similar because I'm using up scraps, so I'm using different colours for the next one. I've been card making for a while, but I'm pretty new to the ScanNCut. So, like a lot of you out there, I'm still learning. So we're going to see how it goes. Also, this is the first time I've videoed myself. So you'll have to bear with me. I'm not used to talking out loud while I'm crafting. Normally I've got the radio on. And the only people I talk to, are the dogs. Rabbit's in here at the minute, sleeping. Budgie's knocking about somewhere downstairs, but if you hear the pitter-patter of feet or some snoring, it's them, not me. Okay, so let's start and see how we go. So I turn my machine on. I'm going to try and zoom you in a little bit so you can see a bit better. And there's my message about the carriage moving. I haven't got my blade in, so I'll just say OK to that. And off we go. You sit down. I'm going to go into patterns. I'm going to find my pattern, which is the stag. And there he is. And I'm going to take him in at that size, because that's quite a nice size to fit on the card. So select each of the elements and set them on the mat. So there are my 5 elements for the stag. I am going to edit that guy and make another copy, because the first one is going to be welded to my sentiment, and I still want another one to be able to sit on the card. So I'm going to go OK, and I'm going to add in my sentiment. So back to patterns, go into the words, and select my Merry Christmas. I'm going to resize it once it's on the mat, so I'm just going to set that on. I'm going to bring it down close to my stag, edit, object edit, and this is the resize button. So I'm going to take that down a little bit, and I'm going to move it down. Do OK on that. I'm going to zoom in to 200, and I'm going to move to where my stag and sentiment are, and I'm just going to tweak that over a little bit so it's lined up quite even, and I'm going to do an OK on that. At this point I'm going to take a copy of my Merry Christmas, because I want one to stick on the card. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to group select those 2 elements. I'm going to edit, object edit, and then weld those together. So because I'm using this to create a mat, I'm going to do an offset, and I'm going to do a 7. I'm going to do an OK. So there is my original, and there's my first offset, and I'm going to do another mat. 1 so I'm going to do an offset on that one, or not. Did I do an offset on that twice? I think I must have done it that way. I'm going to do an offset of 9, maybe 10, no, 9, doing okay. So now I should have my second offset, which should be a bit smaller than that one. So I'm going to delete that because we don't want that anymore. And I'm just going to double check those offsets are okay. So that should sit in there nicely. Yep, that should be fine. Happy with that. So at this point we're going to do a save. I'm going to save it to the machine. Normally I would transfer this into Canvas and work out the colours and send it back, because I find that easier, but because I'm going to do it all on the machine today, we're going to do it on the machine. So I need to save a copy so that when I delete this off, I've still got everything on the copy. So I'm going to edit, because I'm going to cut these two first. So I'm going to do a group. No, I'm not. I'm going to highlight one of those. Then I'm going to do an edit. Select those on my mat. I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to delete those. So these are my first two that I'm going to cut. So I'm going to say OK to those. Right, I'm going to change the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully. And I'm going to bring in my mat. And I'm going to put the first two pieces on. From my mats. I'm going to load my mat in. Camera back. And I'm going to do a background scan. And those look fine, but I will adjust that just a little bit. I'm going to say OK, select, cut, and put my blade in, and I'm going to start. That's going to take 2 minutes to cut. see, make sure those are cut okay. Yeah, that one's fine. And that one's fine. Put these off the mat. Pieces off. I'm going to put my next ones on. Grey ones. And do his fluff around his nose. And this piece a bit smaller. Should be able to fit on the other part of his head. So go back to there. Let me say, okay, we've finished cutting. We're going to go home. We can delete all the patterns because we've got copies anyway. So we say okay, retrieve our data. You know it's at the very bottom, so that'll pull our elements back on. We can do an edit, we can delete that one, and we can delete that one. Merry Christmas we can delete because I'm going to do that in a different card, and the nose also is going to be different, so I'm going to delete that. So we've got 4 elements that we're going to do. I'm going to do a background scan. So I'm going to do this little bit is going to be in white. We'll come back to that. That one is the black layer, that's the darkest grey, and that's the lightest grey. Because I can't see my white card, I'm going to go into the spanner and I'm going to change the background, and I can now see my white card. So I'm going to put that little bit there. I'm going to say OK, select, cut, start. See that cutting. Fine. Let me move you so you can see a little bit better. So we've got our antler piece, got a head piece, another head piece, and we've got our little fluffy nose. Take those pieces off, and I'm going to lay on the next piece of card. So I'm going to do tiny nose and a sparkly Merry Christmas. And we're going to say OK to finish cutting. And we're going to go home. I'm always losing that little guy. And say OK. And we're going to retrieve the data again. And we're going to say OK. And we're going to delete the ones that we've already done. So we've done that background, that background. We're going to keep the Merry Christmas. We're going to delete that one. Delete that one. We're going to delete that one. We're going to delete that one. So the ones we've got left are the Merry Christmas and the nose. So I'm going to say OK. I'm going to do a background scan again because I've put some different card on. There's our card. I'm going to change the background again, make it easier to see. Now I do want my little nose in red, and I'm not sure what I want my Merry Christmas in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another copy of that, and I'm going to do one in the red and one in the silvery grey, because I can always use it on a different project. So, and I'm not sure what colour is going to look better. So we're going to OK, and we're going to cut that. And I'm going to take back down there. I've not cut on either of these cards before, so I don't know how it's going to do, but we'll soon see. While that's doing that, I'll cut out. Right, let's see how these are cut. I'm going to do that one again, I think, because it's not quite cut through. The red one is fine, so I'll grab his little nose off of there. And I'll take the red Merry Christmas off. These bits. And I'm gonna, don't want to go back and I'm going to take that one and delete it. And I'm going to take this little nose and delete it. But I'm going to cut that again because it didn't quite go through. Oh, sorry, I didn't move the camera. All I've done is deleted the ones that I already cut. And I'm just recutting that one. I'm not a very good camera person, obviously. You're not helping, are you, Rabbit? You could have been the camera person, couldn't you? Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it? If you were a co-worker, you would have been sacked by now, sleeping on the job, wouldn't you? Right, let's see if it's done a better job this time. Like I say, I haven't cut this card before. Yes, that's better. So I should take... take that off. And unload my mat, and we can put the card together. So I'll do that so that you can all see what's going on. And I'm just going to take my pokey tool and just, this is not a great card I don't think, but it's done an okay job. Oh, yeah, it's done a really good job actually. So, that's a Merry Christmas. And get rid of those little bits. And we'll pop that cover on my mat. Grab my glue. And we'll pop this together. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'll try and keep within where you are. So, take our first two layers. So first one on, nice fine layer, which is what I wanted. Just give that a couple of seconds because sticking onto the mirror card is takes a little while to grab. And we got our first layer. dark layer. I've just dropped part of it, so I better get that. There we go. So put on the dark layer. At the top of his face. Piece. Little sparkly nose. So put the glue on now, I think. Move that down a little bit. And then we've got our Merry Christmases. So we can either go red or we can go silver. Oh God, I like them both really. And I've got to make a decision. I think I like the darker one better, so I'm going to go with that one. Like so, I'm using the other one somewhere else. So let's just put some bits on here. Merry Christmas on. And there's our topper. So I'm going to put him on a white card. I think he looks better on a white card. Yeah, I like him better on white. And I'm just going to lift him up a little bit with some pin flare. I've run out of foam pads, but I do like this pin flare gel. And I have to stand up and just line him up. And there's our card. So, if you haven't got your ScanNCut out the box, get it out, give it a go. After all, it's only a piece of card. If you do anything wrong, and there's so many things you can do on it, so yeah, get it out the box. It's too expensive to leave it in there. And watch some of Natalie's Natalie and Ian's streams, because there is so much that you can do, and she does so much with it. She's always there to answer your questions, so it's a good place, definitely a good place to start. They've done so many videos to help you. That's the end of mine. I hope it's it helped someone, a few people maybe, and I'll see you next time maybe. Okay, thank you, bye.